Yeah, look, it was obviously an unusual game. I think I'm not 100% sure how we won it, to tell you the truth. I don't think we played our best footy for big patches of the game and somehow managed to get over the line. So it was a big result, but we played probably the second half of this season just about every week with the same thing hanging on the result. I think we've won 10 out of our last 15 games, and quite a few of those have been very close. So there's been a lot of, I suppose, emotion on all of those games, and to get through in the end was a big relief, I suppose, to the players and to the club. And in terms of momentum, I don't think it sort of changes anything for us this week. It's it's an elimination final, and the guys will be up for it no matter what. So looking forward to it.
Now that you've reached that goal that you're sort of targeting for the second half of the season, the guys, and we know that they've got it. How do you refocus them and say, well, look, now we can maybe go even further?
Well, you try and get them in the right headspace, and that was done straight after the game. You celebrate your wins, and I think that's a really important part of sport. You've got to enjoy those times when you do get across the line and you have success, because there's a lot of downs and a lot of heartache in sport. So we celebrated, enjoyed the night on Saturday night, and then woke up on a Sunday morning looking ahead. And I think the way I approach it as a coach is I actually don't look at the fixtures. I don't look at rounds that are 2 games ahead or 3 games ahead. We always look 1 week at a time, and it's a bit of a cliche, I suppose, but that's what we'll do this week, and we'll see what happens at 5 o'clock on Sunday. If we're in front, we'll look for the next week. If we're not, we'll look for Mad Monday on Monday.
Michael, a couple of your country players are doing pretty well. Keith, you and Gomez, so can you tell us a bit about them?
Yeah, well, Keith is probably, I think, a real success story for the footy club this year. He's been at the club for a number of years, 4 or 5 years, from the Broome area, and he's really struggled to be consistent. His best footy has always been terrific, but I think a lack of conditioning more than anything, and an understanding of what's required to get himself fit enough to play has probably limited his ability to play games. And this year he dedicated himself to a massive pre-season and got himself super fit, and he's played some outstanding footy for us. And he's a real leader around the guys too. We have a number of Indigenous players that come from that region that are at our club, and he provides that sort of senior mentoring type role that you need for those guys. So he's well respected, a great team man, and I couldn't be happier. And Bo obviously has come back from the AFL environment. He had a nasty pre-season where he had an infection, a staph infection, which kept him in hospital for the best part of 2 or 3 weeks, and he couldn't really train until March. So his season was really delayed, and then he had a suspension. So probably the back end of the year he started to find his feet and play the sort of footy we know he can play. So he'll be a very important player for us this weekend.
Michael, Jake Murphy, your captain, has missed a lot of the season through injury. How important has it been to have him back in the team, and what sort of role will he play for the club in the finals? It just seems that his teammates seem to walk a lot taller when Jake's out on the ground.
Yeah, look, he's a terrific captain. It's a big part of being a captain is playing and training, and he hasn't been able to do that this year. So it's been very difficult for him to lead from a pure football sense because of his state of his body and not being able to get himself fit. So, he's played probably now 3 or 4 games, but it's been interrupted, and he's still battling, to tell you the truth, from week to week to get through. So it'll be probably touch and go whether he plays this week, given how he pulled up on the weekend. But his game on the weekend was outstanding, and I think you make a very good point. Watching the tape again, we gave Murph our best player after the game, but watching the tape and his efforts around the ball and some of the things he did were, team lifting. There's no doubt about that. So we've got our fingers crossed that he can have a run at the finals and hopefully play a couple of games if we're lucky enough to get through.
Would you be prepared to take him in at, say, 80%, or?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, Russ. I don't think you can take players in at 80 or 90%. In finals footy, I'd rather play guys that are 100% fit, and we know that we can have 22 contributors for 4 quarters.
Brian, you frustrating into the game the other day, but you pushed Subi right to the line. Does that give you a bit of confidence, I suppose, knowing that you can beat the best that you have to?
Yeah, I think so. Look, it was a really strong hit out, I think, for both teams heading into the finals, and we were not unhappy with what we served up on the day, certainly. So we'll hopefully take some of that with us this week, definitely. Yeah.
And what did you think of Clermont the other day? I mean, it was a pretty gutsy effort when they had to win.
Yeah, well, they had to kick the last 4 goals of the game to win. Bill rested most of his players, but never mind. No, look, to come from behind and win in that sort of fashion, I think would certainly boost their spirits terrifically. Yeah.
Brian, there'll be a lot of talk about Peel Thunder's availability with Fremantle players this week. Have you been given an indication yet from West Coast how many you might have available to you?
It's only Wednesday, Bridget, so it's a bit early in the week yet. Not really, and that's honest. We don't know. We expect we could have a couple come back that we didn't have last week, but at this stage we really don't know.
Different situation for your club this year after making the last 2 grand finals. Sort of more of an outsider, I guess, this year. Is that a nice position in some ways? Or?
Oh, well, look, we finish where we finished because we only managed 11 wins, so you are where you are in that sense. Yeah, look, it's sudden death. History says it's extremely difficult to win from where we are, so all we can do is give it our best shot.
Do you feel like that you've played a bit better footy in the back half of the year? I mean, you belted yourself no matter by 100 points.
Yeah, our last patch has been pretty good, and let's be honest, it needed to be, otherwise we wouldn't be in the finals. So we've managed to win 5 of our last 6 games, which has been crucial in getting us into 4th spot. So we've had a good patch of late, but it's sudden death on Sunday, and it all counts for little.
Playing with that, Josh.
Sorry.
I was going to say, playing with that Josh Smith this season, do you feel that your forward line's had to find a new way to kick goals, a more even spread, and leading into the finals, are you on top of that one?
Yeah, look, our leading goal kicker is none other than the redoubtable Craig Wolfe, who's kicked 22 for the season. So we've certainly had to find other avenues. And without having Josh there, it certainly left a bit of a hole, which we've had to try and cover in different ways. So whether that's a good thing or not, we'll find out, I guess, over the next few weeks, hopefully. But we've certainly had to try and do it a different way. Yeah.
And Paul Johnson in the ruck, potentially facing Mark Seaby and Mitch Andrews. He's a class player. You'd be confident in his ability to do that?
He's been in good touch of late. He enjoys a big workload, as most ruckmen do. He's got a big task. He's up against a couple of very, very good ruckmen in Seaby and Andrews. So we expect he's not going to have an easy task on Sunday. They might even throw Cameron in, so he might have 3 to combat.
Brian, a couple of your country guys are doing pretty well. Kyle Addison and Mitch Howlett. Can you tell us a little bit about how they've been going?
Kyle's been a very good player for East Perth for a number of years now. Coming from the Margaret River region, he's one of our very best defenders. He's vice captain of the team. Does a great job in leading by example. So he's had a somewhat interrupted year with injury, but he's managed to string some good games together, certainly in the last patch of the season. And Mitchie Howlett, coming from Busselton, it's probably his 3rd year of senior footy, and he's managed to consolidate himself a bit better. He's probably still a little bit on the edge, but he has played some very good games for us. It was a little disappointing last week, but prior to that, he'd played some pretty good footy for us.